All right. Well, thanks, Jaren, for taking some time out of your busy schedule to chat with us. Really good to see you. How have things been going here?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been things have been good. Our team is looking to race this weekend, which will be exciting. And I think for a lot of guys who maybe haven't been in the water, like got back in the water in September, and this will be a nice kind of finish for them. Or people who have been kind of training more over the summer, it'd be a nice finish going into exams. So I think it'll be good to end off this training cycle.
So many changes with different restrictions and stuff, and I know it can be confusing for a lot of sports. But for you guys, I guess it's been fairly consistent, right? That must have been pretty helpful in terms of being able to just keep doing what you're doing, safely through this whole time.
Yeah, I think it's been nice to, we swim in bleach every day for 2 hours. So I don't think, but the whole like restrictions, I think we've been able to just adapt to whatever's come our way. And we're really lucky to be in the water. And yeah, we just roll with the punches, even though we don't have like major meets coming up. We have like these inter squad meets, which are always fun. And I think just staying motivated that way has always been a bit of a challenge for our team, but I think we've kind of progressed and moved on that way.
Yeah, I know it's not the same, obviously, as normally this is a have been a pretty busy time of year for you guys with Canada West Championships and all of that. But like you said, kind of competing against yourselves internally. How nice has that been to still have that ability to compete in a sense? Because most sports it's been a huge challenge and they really haven't been able to.
hmm Yeah, I mean, every day in practice is a little bit of a competition. And I think we've really kind of embraced that. And I think just our team is definitely a younger team. Like I'm the only fourth year. Marcus was been in Budapest for, 6 weeks. And so I think we definitely have a younger team and there's definitely a little bit more fire and a little bit more competition in practice. So that's nice that way. And then, yeah, getting up to race in our little time trials that we have has been really fun and just kind of competing. It's against yourself, but it's also against the guys. So I think either way it makes you better.
Have you kind of had to take a longer term view in all of this and kind of just use this time to kind of work on yourselves and just prepare for hopefully next year when things are back to normal?
hmm Yeah, like I think a lot of our team is looking, I guess, hopefully to Olympic trials. That's kind of the big thing that's still in the air, but hopefully on the ground kind of thing. Hopefully it will be actualized. But yeah, so that is, I think, in early April. So we've already kind of started planning for that best case scenario. So I think a lot of guys, that's kind of what they're working towards on our team, as well as kind of this take a bit of a break after December and then get back at her.
On the school front, how have you been able to adjust to things online and all of that? How has this process played out for you so far?
Yeah, I think it's been like, I think everyone has had a bit of a learning curve, but I think I enjoy it. I have two lectures with the same prof, and then one lecture I have to watch asynchronous just because of class, but I really wanted to take the course. And then one prof releases like a podcast every week that I get to listen to as the lecture. So I'm not complaining. It's fine, and yeah, it's been fun to just kind of be on my own schedule. And I think it's been good just as a lesson of self-discipline too, because a lot of the times it's on me. So I think I just have to remind myself, okay, get back onto it instead of, you know, watch Netflix for hours.
Have you probably have had a little more time for Netflix and stuff like that just because of everything? What have you been using to fill the void instead of the usual travel and busier schedule that you have?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, staying self-disciplined, I think is really important. But in Netflix terms, I think I've watched The Office at least the whole season, at least two or three times since quarantine, maybe even this week, who knows? But yeah, it's been good. Yeah.
So did you go back home in the summer, and what did that look like? I assume things were for certainly different than a normal off season would have been for you.
Yeah, so I mean, usually for swimming, we don't get much of an off season. Like last season, I was competing up until August, and then I took like 2 or 3 weeks off, and that was kind of my off season there. But so I got back home in March, and then a family friend who trains in the club team there we booked lanes. There's an outdoor pool in Oliver. So we booked a few lanes there, and I was training out of that pool for from since June, all the way until I came back to UBC. So yeah, we were training every day there at 6, and I had to drive. Well, I didn't have to drive. I got to drive 40 minutes there and back. So, but yeah, it was a good time training outdoors. The weather in the Okanagan over the summer was just honestly so great. So yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say there's certainly worse places to be than the South Okanagan
yeah,
in the summertime.
yeah.
What else did you get up to at home during the summer?
Um, I was coaching, so I had a job with the summer club, the summer swim club there. So I was the head coach of that team. So we got started in May, we were online, and then June we moved into in-person dryland, and then in July we moved into open water swimming. So I got to I got to be on the beach and watch my kids swim or paddle on a paddleboard for the whole summer. So yeah,
That sounds like a pretty good gig to me.
yeah, that's pretty nice.
So, as a team, how have you guys navigated through all this? You know, it does sound like you've been able to kind of pivot really nicely, and you know you've set up these internal time trial competitions and stuff like that. But obviously, it must have been challenging at times as well.
Mhm.
How have you kind of supported each other throughout all of this?
I think coming in to our season, a lot of people had different like lockdown restrictions and that sort of thing. So getting back into the season, it was kind of a matter of just where you're at is where you're at, and then working back to where you want to be. Because for someone like myself who had been training pretty much all summer versus someone who maybe got back in the water like 2 weeks before our season started, there was a challenge there. And then just, I think everyone had to make sure that regardless of where they were at, they were giving it their best. And just coming to the pool knowing that you have a job to do, and just that job is just helping support the greater team and the greater team atmosphere, because I think that's really important for, even though we're individual sport, like I think we really feed off of each other. And if people aren't on it, you can kind of feel it. So I think coming to the pool and learning to just put on a positive or neutral face kind of is something that we've been learning to do. And I think that's been helpful just in general, is just to approach life that way.
What else do you miss during all this? What are you looking forward to doing most of all, aside from getting back to normal and seeing people and you know, and competing again? What are you most looking forward to once we're hopefully back to normal in the new year sometime?
Back to normal. I don't know what normal looks like, but I don't know. I'm excited to go back. Like I was saying to my friends, like going to in-person class, just kind of like, how did we do that? Like leaving my room and actually going to places. Yeah, so I think I'm actually excited to go back to in-person class and seeing my profs, and just, yeah, I don't know, just staying fit and working towards Olympic trials and that sort of thing. And we'll see what happens with all the stuff that comes out. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks, Jaren, for chatting for a few minutes. Good to hear you, and good to see you're doing well. Best of luck with the time trials this weekend, and with exams coming up. And hopefully, we'll see you competing against some other U Sports schools in the near future.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.